Okay, now that you have been able to calculate moles to molecules and molecules to moles, what we're going to look at is the molar mass of a particular compound. Okay? So before you even start, you want to have your colored periodic table out. So go ahead and get that out if you have not done so. Now, we've been talking about Avogadro's number and the fact that it is the number of atoms in 12 grams of carbon. You do not need to write this because you already have it. Okay? And we know that Avogadro's number is this 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. And we've also talked about the fact that a mole can be a mole of anything. Okay? Now, just as a little review, how do we deal with moles of atoms or molecules, and how do we deal with moles of atoms or molecules? How do we know the difference? Well, the difference is always in the writing as far as the question goes. That's what the difference is. Okay? What we're going to look at now is how we can use that to calculate the mass of something. Okay? So, first of all, just a little quick review. What element is Avogadro's number based off? Okay, and this you need to have written down in your notes. The element that Avogadro's number is based off of is carbon. Okay, how many grams of carbon are in 1 mole? And from the definition, it was 12 grams. Okay, that's how many grams were in 1 mole. Well, this is what's called molar mass. Okay, so this should really be the first thing that you are writing down. Molar mass. It's the mass in grams of 1 mole of a substance. Well, therefore, for carbon then, carbon has a molar mass of 12 grams per mole. Now, that number 12 should actually look familiar to you. Okay? If you go to your periodic table, you'll see right here on carbon that the bottom number on here is 12. And that is what we have formerly referred to as the atomic mass unit. And we calculated that number a long time ago. Now that number is the molar mass. Okay? So when we go back here, the molar mass of carbon is 12. That means, okay, for every 1 mole that I have of carbon, that's going to be 12 grams. So if I go to my back stock room and I mass out 12 grams of carbon, that also means that 12 grams of carbon is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. Okay? That's the molar mass. And so you actually can find the molar mass of any particular element on the periodic table. So if I ask you to find the molar mass of iron, iron is atomic number 26. Okay, go ahead, and I want to see this in your notes. So I want to see Fe, and I want to see the molar mass. So go ahead and write that down. And what you're doing is you're finding iron, and this number right here, which I know you cannot read off of this VodCast because it's too small, is 55.8. Okay, so that means that the molar mass of iron is 55.8 grams per mole. Okay? That is the molar mass. So that also means if I mass out 55.8 grams, that is also 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. So now if you think about this, what's happening is I'm about ready to get a way to count atoms by massing. Okay, so we're going to be able to count atoms simply by massing, and that's one of the activities that you're going to do right after watching this VodCast, is you're going to count the atoms in a couple of different substances by massing them. Okay, But let's look at a couple others. I want to see this in your notes too. Okay, I want you to tell me what the molar mass of silver is. Okay, and you go to your periodic table, you find silver, atomic number 47, and written right there, which again I know you can't read, is 107.8. So the molar mass of silver is 107.8 grams per mole. Okay, now one of the things that we need to discuss right now is how many places that we should use after the decimal. And I want to see this in your notes so I know that you have it. You will use one place after the decimal. In each box. So we'll always carry one decimal place. So even though something like aluminum, okay, on your colored periodic table, okay, aluminum has 3 places. Okay, so if I find aluminum, aluminum is 981. So aluminum is 26.981, at least it is on the periodic table I looked at. I think it's 2 on yours. That would be grams per mole. Okay, we are going to use one place, so we're going to call this 26.9 grams per mole. Okay, do not worry about rounding it up. Okay, now, a couple issues. Find the molar mass of oxygen. And on your periodic table, oxygen is 15.99999. Okay, we will use oxygen as 16 grams per mole. Okay? So those are molar masses. Now, what we're going to look at is the molar mass of a compound. Okay? To find the molar mass of a compound, the molar mass of a compound is the sum of the molar mass of the individual elements that make up the compound. Okay? So I have ammonia here. Ammonia is NH3. Okay? What we're going to do is, okay, we're going to look up the molar mass of nitrogen. Okay? And on your periodic table, that molar mass is 14 grams per mole. Okay? Now, hydrogen, we have 3 of. We have 1, 2, 3 hydrogens. So with the hydrogens, okay, there are 3 of them, each with a molar mass of 1 gram per mole. Okay, so that means then that there's a total with this hydrogen of 3 grams per mole. And I wish I would have wrote this different. Okay, so the total molar mass of ammonia, I would just add these up. Okay, I would take the 14 plus the 3, so the total molar mass of ammonia is 17 grams per mole. Okay, so this 17 grams per mole is the molar mass of NH3. Let's try another one. Okay, now the fun part of this is I get to give you formulas. So I want to find the molar mass of lithium phosphate. So the first thing you have to do is come up with the correct formula of lithium phosphate. So do that first. Pause the video if you need to. Lithium plus 1, phosphate 3 minus. Smartboard being stupid. Okay, so sorry about the jumping. That's a 3. Okay, so that must mean I need 3 of these lithiums. So my formula is Li3 PO4. Ah, dang it. Ugh. This should have been PO4. That's lithium phosphate. Sorry for the confusion again. So, I want to find out what the molar mass of this is, okay? So again, I start with lithium. I have 3 of them, and then I go to my periodic table and I find the molar mass of the lithiums. And each lithium is 6.9 grams per mole. Okay? And then in this I have 1 phosphorus. So in my phosphorus, there's 1 of those. And each phosphorus is 30.9 grams per mole. Okay? And then I have oxygen. And each oxygen, there are 4 of them, and each oxygen is 16 grams per mole. Okay, so then, when I write all these out, I want to take 3 times 6.9. And that's 20.7. Okay, and then 1 times 30 is 30.9. And then 16 times 4 is 64. Okay, so that's my molar mass of each element. So then what I want to do is I want to add those 3 numbers up. And I get 115.6 grams per mole. And that 115.6 is the molar mass of that compound. So lithium phosphate, Li3PO4, has a mass of 115.6 grams per mole. So again, that would mean if I massed out that amount, that 115.6, what that would mean is I have 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd of those molecules, and actually formula units in this case. All right? Do this one on your own. Determine the molar mass of rubidium peroxide. Okay, so what I have is 2 rubidiums in this compound, each at 85.4 grams per mole. So those 2 rubidiums are giving me a 170.8 grams per mole. And I have 2 oxygens, that's 32 grams per mole. So what I want to do is I want to add those 2 amounts up. So that means I have 202.8 grams per mole. And again, that is, this number here is the molar mass of that. One last one. Put this one in your notes. and tell me the molar mass of this one. So you have iron 3 hydroxide in this compound. For iron, there's 1 iron at 55.8 grams per mole. So 1 at 55.8 is just going to be 55.8. I have how many oxygens? And hopefully you're saying 3, because this 3 right here means I have 3 OH minuses. Hopefully by now, okay, you think I'm silly by showing you that. Okay? So there's 16. 3 at 16 is 48. That's a good one to memorize, by the way. And then hydrogen, we have 3 of those, each at 1, so that's 3. So now again, I want to add all those up. And you get 106.8 grams per mole. Okay? So that is finding the molar mass of compounds. Now you should be able to do the worksheet for this particular section. Okay, and it should be worksheet 2, okay, for VodCast 10-2. Okay.